Well, that was a pretty cool and interesting sleeping vision last night. So I was brought to some kind of a location and they wanted to do tests and stuff like that. I mean, they're like, but before we begin, you have to sign this and we have to do a physical on you. So I opened up this 2-page like pamphlet front and back, like almost like a little book, and it had these cool little solid like sticky things that you'd put on the top with different emblems and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, isn't this cute? I'm like, but I'm in your testing and stuff where you want to bring me. I'm sitting in this room and they're like waiting on me to make a decision fast. I'm like, I need to know if you're going to be doing any probing on me, like in some bad areas and removing blood and doing stuff like that. And there was no answer, no answer. And I kept bringing that up and I'm looking at the little binder and I'm like, this is odd. So then finally, I guess they had enough with me. So they had a gentleman enter the room and say, well, just follow me. So they're walking me through this huge complex with people through the hallways and the whole 9 yards. And my spidey senses are just like, stand strong, basically have faith. So they come by this one room and it's got a door and a glass window where you can look in, and there's a bunch of what appears to be people bowling with these conveyor belts going back and forth and back and forth. And they opened up the door, put me in there, and apparently locked the door behind me. And there anything that looked like it was an older adult or different things. Back when I was walking in the hallway before I went into that room, I was walking by a lady and her whole lower half was invisible while her whole upper half was there. And I jumped and went, whoa, and started laughing because I was like, okay, I'm in a place where other people are gifted. This is freaking cool. Really cool. So back to the bowling room. So they put me in there, closed the door, and everything that seemed to be bigger, probably cloaked. Now there's just a bunch of little kids. And I'm looking at the conveyor belts, and they're all heads rolling on the conveyor belts. And I'm like, what the heck? Dozens of children, if not more, in a room with dozens of conveyor belts with just heads rolling on them. And then the little kid turns around and looks at me and says something. The heck? It said some kind of a little story as to why these heads are rolling. And I'm like, well, I just had a conversation with a lady that made a lie about me. Should her head be on that roller? And forget what the heck it was in the office we were talking about, but it wasn't anything to pertain with my life. It was just I refused to sign her paper because she would not acknowledge what she was planning on moving forward with on me. So anyhow, he was like, oh no. I'm like, really? Oh no? So then kids all gathered around and I started telling them stories, and then boom, next thing you know, I'm out of that room and I'm in a larger room. Tall ceilings, probably I want to say 80 feet or better. And I just outstretched my arms because now I had all of these forces that were going to try to show me you're not the only one with powers and stuff. So I put my arms upwards and basically started to try to move the building, let's say, to vibrate my essence in there. Because apparently, I guess I looked at a cell phone. There was supposedly no communication, no connection. But of course, we always have the realms. So I shook the building a little bit and kind of made some lights do some funny stuff in their house. And then somehow I ended up with somebody giving me keys to a vehicle to get out and showed me an exit, of which would basically be a in and out exit for vehicles, and got all the way up to the exit and think I got out of there. If I didn't get out of there, I just went into another chamber with the person that helped me. And he was like, hurry up, we got to go this way here. So instead of following him down the hallway to where he locked himself in a room, I decided to stay behind with see that which was chasing us. And it was a funny, I call him funny character. He wasn't, a don't want to call him funny looking, but he was different, meek, and he was on a bicycle, and he took the bicycle off, and he was about to roll it down in the direction, the wheel, to go after the other guy and me, I guess. And I stayed behind to let the other guy get away, catch him with his wheel, and I took the wheel from him. And he's like, the heck did he ask me? Oh, what's your favorite weapon? And I just holding the tire in front of my face to him, keeping the spokes from him being able to swing at me, do anything. I said a spider web is my favorite weapon. Pretty much just encapsulate you and hold you down, and I can ascertain whether or not you should be eaten or destroyed while you're contained. So then something ended up where I went down to the other room and told them, get a gun, but evidently this man somebody else was already in the room threatening them. I guess they heard me yell, get a gun, so whoever he was in the room with a lady, she was pulling a gun out of her hand, and he ended up taking it in his hand, but then my freaking alarm clock went off, so the dream ended. Wow, what a dream. So for those of you out there who are gifted and going to try to off with his head, yeah, I don't think so. Now that we know that you've been dragged me into your house, and I let you know that I am a little bit one, it's not just off of people's heads because they won't sign your paper. Get out of here. Now you know who I am. Bye.